Hi guys, welcome to the Savvy Money Show. Me, your host Sean. We're going to be talking about the markets and some stocks. We're going to start with stocks so you don't have to wait. You can move on if you want, and we'll go to let's go. Not the Yardini. Yardini is good if you want to keep an eye on the market. They do up-to-date research, but I'm going to go to Market Watch. Now, just so you know, Apple and the Epic Games trial has begun, but not much has been said about it. If you're wondering why, books on. Now, Belinda and Melinda Gates have announced the divorce. Now, there's a rumour floating around that billionaires are getting divorced so they can sell shares in their company, and so because they know there's a crash coming. Because Bezos got divorced last year, he sold 10 billion shares, and he's recently sold another $2.5 billion worth of shares. Now, is there a reason to panic? Not really. 2.5 billion compared to 10 billion last year. You know, he said last year he wanted to push forward his space program, and he's also picked up a lot of land. So has Bill Gates. So, you know, it's one of those things. Rumours will fly about. Now, the thing to think about in the past, all this selling may and go away. We have the fact that these things always crop up, and now we've got a lot of other issues coming in with it. But Pfizer, who people thought would cut their dividend, has not only sustained it, but it's talking about upping it because of the vaccine, and they're donating $70 million worth of antibiotics to India. Now, you have Moderna reporting earnings. Basically, a majority of companies will have reported earnings by the end of the month. Now, why is the market still so down on such good earnings? All these companies are having great earnings, blowout earnings, but why? Well, as I said before in previous video, a hedge fund got margin called and went bankrupt. Other major hedge funds have been margin called when they've never been called before, and it's sent shivers through the market. So if you have shares in Apple and you have shares in Workhorse, then what company are you going to sell? You're going to sell Apple, the biggest company in the world, or are you going to sell Workhorse? That's why Workhorse is down. Now, it's crazy really when you think about it. Workhorse has $750 million in the orders. Now they're at 1.22 billion. Their patents on drones. Now, companies with drones have been soaring, but because they're also an EV delivery, further along than any other company when it comes to EV delivery trucks. Now, final mile EV delivery trucks, you've got contracts with IKEA, a number of big companies. Now, I did sell a majority of my position before, and I put it into another company I'll speak about later, but I'm strongly considering picking it up again, because it's just getting too attractive an offer, like a lot of the stocks. But what I'm saying is, make your positions full at the moment, and then look at the stocks you want, because I do not think the sell-off's over with. But when a company like this that has all these patents is at such a low price, it is just so tempting. And there's still a chance that the USPS contract be overturned. You know, it's just amazing. Really, it's crazy. Now, the other competitor, Arrival, is their vans are half the size, but they've already been given. They've gone up because they've already been given pre-orders. They haven't delivered, like Workhorse hasn't delivered, but their valuation is based on their pre-orders. So why isn't Workhorse's? What makes them different? Now, as we see with Apple, it ran up and then it came back down. Apple had amazing earnings. We know that they would, because it's the start of a super cycle with 5G. But trust me, Apple's next earnings are going to be even better. I believe they're bringing out new products. Although they've said they're bringing out a new product, I believe they'll be bringing out another new product. But when a new generation phone comes out, you get the ones who go, have to have it. But then you get the ones who go because they want to get say the iPhone 12 at a cheaper price, and that's when the buying comes. Say when the iPhone 13 comes out, they'll go and buy the iPhone 12 Pro Max at a cheaper price, and that's where they'll be crazy earnings. Now, what I did was I put my money into Enable midstream, and it's already gone up. It was under $7 when I mentioned it on this video. It had a 2.96 billion market cap. They have agreed with Energy Transfer, as long as the regulator doesn't stop it, that they will be taken over for $7.1 billion. So it is going to more than double in valuation. And during that time, we get a dividend. So I don't see why people are not scooping this up. You have to also look at the likes of CleanSpark. Someone said to me earlier, and I thank you for every one of your comments, how they're regretting buying CleanSpark at $30. I said to them, well, if you thought about averaging down, do you have the money to? And didn't reply. Don't be embarrassed. Sometimes we go all in on a stock. I preach to not go all in, to sort of put a certain percentage in and then sort of average down or average up. The thing is, if you've done that, I understand that. We've made that mistake before. Treat it as a lesson. You're FOMO'd in. Fine. But it will come back again. Look at what's happened with CleanSpark over the past couple of months. Like with a lot of growth stocks. What they have done is, look at this balance sheet. Look at these compared to last quarter. This isn't a year on year. This is a quarter. And the thing is, as well as that, they have been able to get the mining cost of a Bitcoin down to 6k. So if Bitcoin the price of Bitcoin halves, they're still making 5 times their money on it, and that cost will come down again because they picked up a solar power company. They are, as I said, all this good news is not factored in. You have sort of but you have it across the board, so you effectively getting Clean Spark before they bought up like the Bitcoin miner. You know, Teledoc, you're getting it pre-CV. You know, you're getting it with a lot of these companies. You know, you can look at Neo, you can look at any, you know, Jumaya, you know, any growth stock, any SPAC stock. Now, look at that. Now, let's look at one that I like. It's merging with the #1 quantum computer in the world. We look at another one, FRX. Now, when this was announced, there are people who used it who have said it has a superior product to Peloton. As well as that, it also has the shakes. It has the celebrity fitness people. It has more than Peloton has to offer, but Peloton was there first. That's the only thing. Now that Peloton has this scandal, they've had to pull back all the bikes. This is an opportunity for this company to go and grab the market share, and yet it's still at $10. It's almost like not only has a letter of intent not come out, it's almost like they haven't even had a rumor about it. But they have an ex-Disney CEO on board. They have Ron James. They have Arnie Schwarzenegger. They have loads of celebrities on board. Now, I know this is going on a bit. I'm going to go on to the charts now. Don't forget to hit that lovely like button, and don't forget the sexy subscribe button. A lot sexier than me, just ask the wife. And if you want to be a hero, hit the bell notification. You'll be notified when a new video gets uploaded. And why not check out the links in the description below. If you're looking for a free trading platform, you get a free share worth up to $200, depending on the platform you use if you deposit a small amount. Why are growth stocks and spec stocks so low? You can get some SPACs under the $10, so you can load up on them and say to your broker, right, I want my $10 back when it comes time. I know you can't with Robinhood or Trading 212, but the thing is, S&P 500 is considered overvalued, #1. All these hedge funds getting margin calls, #2. You look at the other markets, they're just valued right. You look at the other countries. When you look at the fact that New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa has outperformed other countries the last 120 years. Now, then you look at forward. They're looking at forward PE now. If you see this, forward PE for growth versus value stocks. You know, and you look at the bond yields. The bond yields are really an excuse. Same as the interest rates. Inflation, well, To tell the truth, no matter what the government says, I think we've got hyperinflation. You look at price of lumber, price of oil, you look at price of anything, it's all gone up. The cost of building a house is more because the cost of lumber and basic materials are going up. Now they're saying copper is a new oil because of decarbonisation. But the fact is the cost of everything is going up. Now, so these hedge funds are jumping in to these hedge funds are jumping into value stocks with low forward PEs, you know, and it doesn't matter, and they're looking across countries instead of staying with the US as well, which is why the UK stocks jumped the other day. You know, they're not just looking at the US anymore because they don't have to. And the fact is, we have a decision to make. Number one, we can chase these stocks, and I have listed time and again in my Discord stocks to go into. Well, here's my Discord. I do a daily chat and I give a list of stocks. Now, do I chase lumber? No, it's too high already. It's at highs. Or do I chase a company like IEA? I've banged the drum on it for a while. It's considered to have a fair value of $50. It's picking up multiple contracts. You know, it's got a market cap 281 million. Last month it picked up 2 contracts, one for 300 million and another for 50 million. Now, and yet it went down. It has stocks of lumber, stocks of steel, stocks of copper. It has all these stocks. So this is my lumber, this is my steel play, this is my copper play. You know, do we sell our growth stocks? No. We wait for a rotation back into growth and SPAC stocks. If anything, I would be buying some of the SPAC stocks that are under $10. Now, look at Spring Valley. Now they come out with announcements that not only are they going to be farming more produce, more types of produce, but they're going to be putting their brand name on the produce. And I come up with the fact that it also solves a problem for traditional farmers that have non-GMO stamped on their produce. They cannot have it stamped on the produce if the wind turns and GMO seeds from the next field blow into there and they cross-contaminate. And if anything, say for instance Gates' farm is next to yours and he has Montessori sprayed seeds, GMO seeds, the wind blows some in your farm, he can actually sue you and take your crop, and it's happened in the past. Now, this is 4 cents under the technical bottom, where you can demand your money back. It saves water, saves energy, has a great board. Vertical farming, it's the best in its class. It's profitable, and I think it solves a number of problems. This is one that at the moment I would be loading until the rotation comes back. However, what you've got to realise is a lot of it is because people are getting margin calls, and a lot of the market has to be fueled by retail investors. So stay strong, do your research rather than sell. If you're tempted to sell, just go away from your computer and take a day off. But because it will come back. The thing to do otherwise is look into what you're buying, and remember, you could be holding a long time if you're buying. So the other side of it is, if you're looking at companies like Tattoo Chef, another one I own. People are going crazy with this, $30 a share. Now, what have they done since then? They've had blowout earnings, blowout guidance. They've added more SKUs to Target and Walmart. They've added two more plants. They've added bought New Mexico distribution for 25 million. That's going to add 200 to 300 million to the per year to the profit in 2 years' time. They've upped their guidance as a result of it. That's going to give them entrance to the Mexico market. That's going to help them with the delivery service area. You know, all this good news, and it's come back down to values pre this good news, before this good news. It's actually come down to lower than what it was before then. Almost like this good news has been wiped out. Now, if this reaches $100, do you really want to be the kind of person who said, I didn't pick it up at $17? Clover, you know there's a heavy short position. You know there was a short squeeze. You know they've got on the list for the insurance. You know that as well as hedge funds going into defensive energy, home builders reopening place, they're going into the medical place. So why would you not be in Clover at this price? No, under 3.5 billion. Now, people are coming out because they hear it's being investigated. How many investigations do they need? I realise I've gone on for a long time, and I thank anyone who's lasted through this long. I didn't want to put out 2 or 3 videos. I wanted to do everything in one video. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.